Good evening. Welcome to White Bear Lake Area Senior High School. It is volleyball night here on RICCI Media Group, and we are happy to welcome the White Bear Lake Bears and the Anoka Tornadoes in a non-conference matchup tonight. Anoka is 2-4 on the year. White Bear Lake is 3-2. We are very happy to spotlight our teams, coaches, and student athletes on our top-of-the-line streaming service with RICCI Media Group, and we appreciate your watching. If you are interested in advertising with us, please drop us a note at sales@riccimediagroup.com. That's spelled RICCI mediagroup.com. And a portion of every sponsorship goes directly back to athletics at White Bear Lake High School. We'll be back with the opening set in our matchup tonight next here on riccimediagroup.com. All right, just a couple of moments away from the introductions and getting our match underway. Let's take a look at these two teams and how they have fared this season. White Bear has lost 2 of its last 3, but comes in with a winning record. They lost most recently last Thursday night at Eastridge. Certainly no disgrace in that. 3-0 the score there, but came off a 3-1 win against Matamidi here at White Bear to do that. This is just the second home game of the season for White Bear. They're 1-0 at home, and they are 2-2 on the road, having won at Hutchinson and Hill Murray in their first 2 games of the season before beating the Zephyrs last Thursday night. Anoka has lost 3 in a row and has not won since September the 2nd when they won at Cambridge. Losses in their current road swing at Centennial and at Forest Lake, sandwiched around a home 3-0 loss to Rogers. So their victories have come over Cambridge in 3 straight and Monticello in 3 games, and their other loss in 5 at Robbinsdale Armstrong in the second match of the season back on August the 27th. So a couple of teams that are looking for traction here in the early going. Anoka in the Northwest Suburban 0-1 in that 6-team league, which has them presently tied for 4th place with Andover and with Coon Rapids in that conference standings. And of course, it's still very early yet, but White Bear in the Suburban East has 2 conference losses, so they have no points, but they are tied for 3rd. And that's odd in that no one else besides White Bear and the 2 teams they played, East Ridge and Roseville, have played a game in the Suburban East as yet. So they're all still in the non-conference portion of their schedule. As you see the Bears finishing their warm-ups, and we're about 40 seconds away from the first serve in tonight's matchup. All right, the last horn has gone here, and that should get our PA announcers into the fray, and then we can get going. All right, here we go. Lineups have been introduced. And here we go. And it will be Anoka to serve. Lauren Trombley, sophomore outside hitter, will get us underway. Tough play, and that'll be 4 hits in the first point for White Bear Lake. And White Bear to serve for the first time. This is Galagari, number 9, left-handed serve. And we got a net violation against Anoka. Second point for White Bear. First set, 2-0. And Galagari will serve. Jeff Pappas, my name. Glad to have you along here tonight from the beautiful White Bear Lake High School. And a push goes just a little bit long, and White Bear with the first 3 points of the game. As Ochanda pushes it long for Anoka. And a clean kill there for Hayden Reeder for Anoka. Tornadoes get their first point. We'll get the serve back. And now in for Anoka, Isabella McLaughlin, number 6. And it's the libero, Eva Lanasa, to serve for Anoka. Trying to snap a 3-match losing streak. And a kill off the block there for Niamoja for White Bear. And they get the serve back and another point along the way. 4-1. And it'll be Maddie Pearson, the senior, to serve for White Bear in the all black. And of course, the liberos wear the reverse color. Couple of nice digs there. And now that one goes into the net. Kill on the far side for Trombley. And it'll be 5-1 for the Bears. And again, Pearson will serve. And another kill for Hayden Reeder for Anoka. "5-2" the score. And this is Lydia Shimmick serving for Anoka and into the net. "6-2." Opening set. And it's Addison Lee to serve. And a cross-court kill. That goes wide from Reeder, a point for White Bear. And it's now 7-2. Right through the block and gone, and that's a kill for Anoka. And they get the serve back, trailing 7-3, and this will be Hayden Reeder to serve. That's 2 of their kills. That's going to go long. And White Bear gets the serve right back. Anoka hasn't done much with the serves they've had to this point, and now in for White Bear. Galagari will step back in to the middle. And the serve now to Lila Lotto. That's up into the ceiling. That's trouble. But Anoka deals with it. Play over the top there, and again, trouble again. Managed to get it over the net on the third try. A little punch to the far side. And White Bear will go over on the third try. Into the net. And White Bear will take that point as well. And they now go ahead 9-3 here in the first set. And once again, Lotto will serve. That is a clean kill to the far corner for Lauren Trombley. And Anoka gets the point back. And they'll trail 9-4 and go back to the serve. And this is McLaughlin to serve again. Safely over. And a clean block at the net by Galagari as Trombley tried to kill the ball. And White Bear now has its 10th point. And Nimioja is back in for White Bear Lake. Reagan Farmer will serve. This is trouble here. And can they get it over the net on the third try? No, White Bear expands its lead to 11-4. Farmer to serve. Left-handed kill. Nicely done there, Galagari. And White Bear continues to pull out in front, 12-4. And we're going to get a timeout taken by Anoka with White Bear scoring 12 of the first 16 points in this matchup. 60 seconds on the clock for the timeout. Coming up for Anoka, they have 3 matches in a row at home. Coon Rapids next Wednesday, Robbinsdale Armstrong the following Tuesday, and then Champlin Park on the 25th. White Bear has 2 more at home. They play Park tomorrow night here at 7 o'clock, and then host Woodbury next Monday here at White Bear Lake before their next road matchup is at St. Paul Central on Monday, September the 29th. But it's off to a good start here for White Bear so far. Mioja and Lotto have the recorded kills. There should be another one on the board there, I believe, for the last play. Anoka has both of its kills from Hayden Reeder. And White Bear will go out again. Reagan Farmer, senior. And that one winds up deflecting back out of play off Shimmick, and the beat goes on for White Bear. 13-4. Good run there for the Bears, and I get another point at the net as Farmer giving Anoka plenty to think about on those hard serves, just clearing the net. Good run for her. Now Farmer with the dig and a little pop over the net fails. Well, there's a fortuitous bounce off the ceiling there that allows White Bear to pick up a point, and now they can't play it off the net, and Anoka gets a point, but the ceiling is in play, and there the deflection gave Anoka a little headache as the Bears were able to clear, but not on a second attempt, and it's now 14-5. That one caught Reeder up high. And there's a violation at the net by the Bears. Not only can you not touch the net, you can't slide under it. And that gives the point to the Tornadoes, and they continue to serve. Alert play there, but at the net, Anoka's Shimmick is there to pick up the kill, and it's 13-7. 3-0 run here for Anoka. Kate Trombley on the serve for them. And there's a kill, or rather a block at the net by Ano Chanda. And Anoka continues to roll here. They now have cut the lead to 6 at 14-8. Having scored 4 points in a row. That one won't go as White Bear stops the bleeding and gets a point. 15-8. And Keely Giesky, the libero, will serve for White Bear. Giesky with a good trap there. Now played to the far side. Killed off the block and down. And it's Nimioja again for White Bear on the business end. And it is now 16-8 for White Bear in this first set. Down the line, and that one is out. And White Bear picks up the point and now lead it again by 9. Off the block, and that is point for White Bear. They continue to move on, 18-8. Oops, and a miss hit there as the ball wound up at Lotto's hands. Didn't get it cleanly, and Anoka picks up the point. 18-9 for the Bears. Oh, nicely done at the net by Ochanda, but the Bears recover. And that point will go to Anoka and another kill for Reeder. 18-10. Again, off the block. Another point for Anoka as they continue to battle here, but trailed by 7. And it's Trombley rather serving for Anoka. And there's a winner. And that was Nimioja again, and White Bear picks up the point, 19-11. And that's into the net. And now for White Bear, Abby Meyer, 22, will check in. One of the seniors. And this is Lanasa, the libero, serving for Anoka. Bill goes wide. And White Bear will get the point, and that is 21 now, 21-12, and White Bear closing on set number 1. And there's a point for Anoka. I had an extra point up there for White Bear. Unfortunately, 20-13 is the score. Good save on the far side by Shimmick, and now it's down. White Bear gets the point, and now they've got 21. 21-13. And it will be Addison Lee to serve after the timeout taken by Anoka as they trail it by 8 here in the first set. So we put 60 seconds up on the board and await events, as they say. Good a time as any to once again ask if you are interested in sponsoring these webcasts here on RICCImediagroup.com. Drop us out an email at sales@RICCImediagroup.com, RICCI. And you can also check out our archive games and highlights at our website, RICCImediagroup.com, for current and archive games. We've been just about everywhere so far. We've done volleyball tonight at the swim meet last week. Of course, White Bear Lake football we've got, and they're off to a good start. Boys and girls soccer we've put on as well. So check it out. The archive of our games at RICCImediagroup.com. If you can stand the announcer. Addison Lee will serve for White Bear. Oh, well done there. As Farmer saw the hole between the first and second lines and hit it with some ease, and it's 22-13 for the Bears. Off the White Bear block and down as Reeder comes up with a point, and it's now 22-14. And here is Reeder. First serve sailed long. This one now winds up right back on the floor. Reeder with a great stop. And Anoka manages to get it over the net on the third time of asking. And now there's a kill that goes off the libero from Link for White Bear. Farmer with the attempt there. Dugout. Farmer again. This time it's wide. And that will be a point for Anoka, and it's 22-15 here in our first set. And once again, Hayden Reeder will get ready to serve. Oh, there's the roll right at the net, and nicely done for Regan Farmer. White Bear gets the serve back. 2 points away from the first set. And Lotto will serve. Placement there as the Bears set it up for Regan Farmer, and it's down, and it's first set point. 24-15 for White Bear Lake. And again, Lotto will serve. And there's a kill for Anoka's Trombley. And Anoka gets the serve back, trailing by 8. And this is McLaughlin to serve for the Tornadoes. And a point awarded to the Tornadoes, 24-17. And another serve for McLaughlin. Off the block, and there's your first set. White Bear wins it by 24-15. 25 rather, excuse me. Let's take a look at the score sheet. The final is White Bear 25 and Anoka 17. So we played our first set. And now we'll get a timeout before the second begins. All right, ready for the second set in just a moment. Solid for White Bear. In the first, got the early lead and did not relinquish it. So a fine start as White Bear looks for its fourth win of the season. White Bear does not have a straight set win this year. Both of their losses have been straight sets against Roseville and Eastridge, but their win against Hutchinson went the full 5. Hill Murray took 4, and so did Matamidi. So White Bear looking for a clean sheet tonight for the first time all season. Both of Anoka's victories were 3-0. They have not won a match which their opponent did not win at least one set. They have a 5-setter in their books as well. Their second game of the season was a 3-2 loss at Armstrong. But their last 3, they have won 1, 0, and 0 sets. So if you go back to the 4th set of the Centennial match and count the first set here, as you should, Anoka has lost 8 sets in a row. So they are looking to reverse some trends as they gather around their coach, Chris Fenwick, as we're about a minute away from the second half. And White Bear, of course, coached by Mackenzie Leverty. When playing at the net, Reeder was Anoka's most effective hitter, although they did have some good work along the front row. The Bears, good ball movement and just a little bit better at the net in that first set, and it has them in front. (25-17) in the first for White Bear. This team will make its last substitutions. Link comes off. And here is Galagari to serve for White Bear to start set number 2. Oh, nicely done on the near side by Galagari, finding a hole, and the ball drops. White Bear scores the first point of the second set. And Galagari will serve. Good block. And into the net there. Nimioja with the first block. The White Bear has won the first 2 points of set number 2. And into the net there by Galagari. And Anoka gets a point on the service error. And Trombley will serve for Anoka, trying to get the second set tied up. That's off the block, and Trombley saved that one. Oh, a nice roll at the net. And a hook over the net will find the floor as White Bear continues to find points at the net. Pearl Nimioja there, and 3-1. Nimioja with 3 kills, and now White Bear will serve. Maddie Pearson. And that's into the net. White Bear continues to score 4-1. Oh, good play at the net by Lotto. But Anoka winds up winning the point. It's a very sharp angle. Hard to see how she was able to get that up and over the net, but Lotto made a nice play. And now here's Lanasa, the libero, to serve for Anoka. And a point to White Bear. And here's Addison Lee. Oh, good save on the far side by Farmer. Off the attempt by Reeder. There's Reeder again. And that one's down. And Anoka gets a point. 5-3. Off the block by Link. And a double hit. That will go over to White Bear. And it's now 6-3. Lotto serving. Oh, and a powerful kill there by Reeder. Tornadoes hanging tough here in the second set, trailing by only 2. And it will be Reeder to serve. Oh, a little hook. Lovely. And on the third try, the Bears put it over the net, and it's down as Galagari with a little roll shot at the net. Got it over the front guard and down. It's 7-4. Farmer will serve. Cross court, and it worked. As McLaughlin plays it over, and Anoka gets the serve back immediately, 7-5. And now for Anoka, Ochanda comes back in. And the Bears survive that exchange. Ochanda tries her luck. Bears pick it off. Over there by Galagari. Oh, nice dig out there by Gieske. And again. And trying to hook it across court. Ochanda puts it into the net instead. White Bear gets a hard-earned point. And it's now 8-5. Nice work there by Gieske. Will now serve. And another nice dig. And that's a White Bear point as the ball winds up going into the net off Ochanda's attempt. And the Bears now lead it by 4, 9-5. And that one caught the White Bear, or the Anoka defender, Shimmick up high. And she could do nothing but steer it out of play. And now White Bear leads it 10-5. And even Gieske can't save that one. White Bear wins the point and gets it served back 10-6. And that one is blocked down by Ochanda. And consecutive points for Anoka. Now it's 10-7. And a point awarded to Anoka. 10-8. And there's another effective play at the net for Nimioja. Heading it off the block and out of bounds. White Bear point, and it is 11-8. Now here's Galagari to serve. And that one straight into the net from the back row by Reeder, trying to find a way around that block for White Bear, but not able to get it over the net. 12-8 Bears. And Galagari will serve. Off the block there as Shimmick is denied. And an overpowering effort there. Nimioja continues to play well. It's her 5th block. And a timeout taken by Anoka with our score, White Bear 13 and Anoka 8 here in the second set. 25-17 in the first. And this is my first time inside the new White Bear gym. I have not been in this building. I've been to the stadium plenty of times for various events. This is the first time I've seen this place, and this is very nice, as you would expect it to be. There's two balconies, one on either side, and we're in a balcony here, so the view is nice. People can't walk in front of it. That's always good. But the seating on the end lines, I think, is great. Something that you don't see a lot of, even in modern gym design here in the Twin Cities. But students can sit at either end, and where the White Bear students are sitting off to our left, and it is Quite a nice spectacle. 13-8 Bears, and they will serve as Galagari will put it back in play. Lotto, the sophomore, will step out for White Bear and then right back in. The roll taken out there by Lotto. And that one is going to drop. As again, Nimioja finds a way over the wall. And down 14-8. 5 kills for the junior for White Bear. And once again, it'll be Galagari to serve. Long hit at the net by Shimmick goes out of play. And the Bears now increase their lead to 7 points in the second set, 15-8, having won the first, 25-17. Finger roll again by Nimioja. That latest one stopped by Lanasa. Oh, nice play by Anoka to keep that going. And then a cross-court kill to the far corner for the near corner, rather, for Nimioja. And White Bear continues to roll. And it's now 16-8. Good save there. And who else but Nimioja has had a very strong game? Back row kill attempt. And that one is dug out. And into the net it goes off Shimmick. And White Bear continues to roll. 17-8. Galagari. Another the dig out there by Gieske. Oh, had she made that one, it would have been highlight reel stuff. But Anoka is able to come up with a 9th point. They get the ball back and they get the serve, but now a gap between the teams. Now Farmer will, or excuse me, Galagari will check out. That's going to sail long, and White Bear will get the point. And it's now 18-9. Mabel Goslin, a senior, checking in now for Anoka. Moves to an outside hitter position. And here's Maddie Pearson with the service for White Bear Lake. Good 2-player block at the net, denies Reeder, and White Bear picks up another point, 19-9. And again, Pearson will serve. And a net violation there against the Bears will give the point to Anoka. And they get the serve back, trailing 19-10. And here's Lanasa will serve, rather, I should say, for Anoka. There, libero, and there's the service. Well, that was not intended, but wound up working as Meyer just chipped it over the net, and it wound up finding the weak spot. And it's now 20-10. And it will be Lee to serve. And a cross-court kill by Reeder. Wins the point back immediately for Anoka. And here is Lydia Shimmick, a freshman, to serve. Good block, and it's going to work out as Reeder put it right into the block, and Lotto was able to slap it right back to her. Went out of play, and Anoka takes a timeout with a score 21-11, and White Bear closing in on the second set. They need just 4 more points in order to accomplish that, and they played just as well here as they did in the first set. Only need 4 points to wrap it up. White Bear to serve, and it's Lotto. And that goes out of play as Trombley put it over, and the Bears could not return it. 21-12. Number title of a pretty good Rush album, but not what Anoka's looking for on the scoreboard, certainly. And now service into the net, and White Bear leads it by 10 and needs only 3. And after a little rest, Pearl Limoja back in for White Bear. Farmer will serve. And that's down. And a point for the Tornadoes. Nine points is the margin as Goslin comes back in for Anoka. McLaughlin will serve. And on the near side, Galligari can't get it over the net. And another point for Anoka. 22-14. And that point will go to White Bear. And now they only need 2 as Kaylee Gieske will serve in a strong game she's had. Good save there by Shimmick. For Anoka. Now the Bears try again on the near side. Left-handed kill. There it is as Galligari puts it down. And it is set point for White Bear as they lead it now by 10, 24-14. And there it is. That is your second set. White Bear wins it 25-14 to take a 2-0 lead. Set number 3 from White Bear Lake High School. The Bears lead Anoka 2-0. 25-17, 25-14. Jeff Pappas with you as we get ready to go. And Anoka should have the serve for the third game. And they do. And here's Lauren Trombley. Eased over by Gieske. And a cross-court kill for Reeder. And Anoka scores. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the first time they've led in this match tonight at any point. They're trailing by 2 sets, but they get the first point of the third. Everything must win from here on out for Anoka, obviously. That's in the net, and it's 2. So the Tornadoes starting strongly in the third set. And another violation on the Bears, and that's going to make it 3 now for the Tornadoes. That's a terrific reflex play there by Lanasa, followed by another one. And the Bears keep that alive. And a run here for Anoka. They have the first 4 points of the third set. And they lead it 4-0. Probably to serve. That goes out of play, and White Bear gets its first point of the set. Nimioja started it, and Anoka couldn't finish it. 4-1 the score as White Bear gets the serve for the first time, and here is Galagari. And that's a nicely placed kill by Reeder. They get the serve back and now lead at 5-1. Serving to stay in it. And that was knocked off the side of the net, not a play. And Anoka continues to move on, 6-1. And 4 hits there, and that will give Anoka more momentum here in their run to start the third set. They've lost 9 sets in a row, and they appear to be determined to stop that right at this moment. 25-17, 25-14 for the Bears in the first 2 sets. Bears make 2 substitutions. Farmer and Pearson are back on. And White Bear will get the serve. And they've changed the point. It's now 6-2. And White Bear serving. And Anoka gets it right back. So, where I'm done from their point of view is it is 7 now to 2. And here is Shimmick to serve. And an 8th point as Anoka suddenly seems to have figured it out. 8-2 the score. And Shimmick serving. That's going to go long. And Anoka continues to pull away. That's a net violation, and that is going to give Anoka a 10th point. Their high has been 14, and they're closing in on that rapidly of a strong start to the third set. And that one's short, doesn't get over the net, and Anoka continues to score. Now we're going to get a timeout for White Bear as they need to talk this over as they appear to have lost a fair bit of their rhythm here in this third set. Shots that were falling in the first two no longer are, and Anoka taking full advantage, and they lead the third set by 9. All right, it'll be Anoka to serve. Shimmick will do the honors for them. And there's a point back for White Bear as Lee gets up and knocks one down. Bears get their serve, but they have work to do. That's long. And the point to Anoka. Here's Reeder to serve. Cross court, nicely done by Lotto, and White Bear gets a point they need. (12-4). And the aforementioned Lotto will serve. That's trouble. And down. So White Bear, service winner there from Lotto, and they chip another point back. That one's going to sail. It goes long. Left-handed kill. Nicely done there by Farmer. And White Bear gets the serve back immediately. But they need a run here as they trail at 13-6. And here's Reagan Farmer to start it off. And a kill for Anoka from their senior Mabel Goslin. And Anoka gets the serve back, leading by 8, 14-6. That serve is in, and an ace on the far side for Trombley. And Anoka, bound and determined to break that 9-set losing streak, now leads it by 9. That's dug out by Reeder. Good rally here. And a net violation against the Bears. Now, it would have been a winner. And now it's a 10-point lead for the Tornadoes, 16-6. Again, dug out by Reeder. Hook over is good. And once again, Goslin scores for Anoka. And they are expanding their lead. 17-6. That goes long. And a good read there by Gieske as a point for White Bear to get them back within 10. But boy, a real tall order here as Gieske will serve. And a cross-court winner from Shimmick and Anoka. Now leads at 18-7. That one will work for White Bear. As again, Nimioja makes her presence felt. Bears get the serve back, but they still trail it by 10. And this will be Galligari to serve. Off the block. Beautifully done. Lee up there along with Lotto denying Reeder, and White Bear gets the point. Great positioning by Gieske there. And that goes off the side of the net, and a point for Anoka. They get it back now, the serve, leading it by 10 once again. 19-9. Trying to climb back into this matchup. Bears won the first 2 sets with some ease, but Anoka handling them in the third. And again, this time Reeder just electing to roll right over the net, and Anoka starting to close in on a set win, 20-9. And into the net it goes. From the libero, Ava Lanasa. Now Nimioja will come out. Reagan Holm coming out. And it'll be Maddie Pearson to serve for White Bear. And another one. As Farmer hit it towards the back row, and Tornadoes couldn't handle it. White Bear within 9, 20-11. Pearson will serve again. Farmer with a kill attempt there. Now to the near side. Oh, that one caught. Jaxie up high. Or excuse me, Isabella McLaughlin up high, and Lotto gets the kill. And White Bear is now within 20-12. And Reeder answers back. And Anoka will serve Shimmick. And a point awarded to Anoka. And it's now 22-12. And roll there, and that's going to cause some trouble. Another better roll by Reeder, and Anoka 2 points away from claiming the third set. But Hayden Reeder starting to really warm up. That serve goes long, and that'll be White Bears service, 23-13 now. Caligari at the serve. Oh, they try to go cross court over the top of the net. Lotto hit it into the net instead. And it's now set point for Anoka. And Reeder will serve. And a shot by Farmer finds the floor on the far side, and White Bear will get the service back. And here's Lotto to serve. And there it is. And Anoka snaps its string with a win in the third set, 25-13. And that will mean we'll play a fourth. White Bears lead shaved to 2-1. And so White Bear getting its momentum curtailed rather quickly as Anoka jumped out to a 7-1 lead in that third set and really never stopped. Got some momentum going, got some balls to fall. And now we play a fourth set. As Mackenzie Liberty talking with her team and trying to make some points here. Anoka much better at getting the ball in and around Reeder, was making good decisions in that third set as to whether to try to play through a block for an outright kill, maybe roll, or just hit for the back row, and was finding holes. And White Bear kind of back on their heels through most of that third set, trying to win one more and take the match. But looking at Anoka and Chris Fenwick, his team has all the confidence in the world right now. They broke a streak that they would rather not have set and have looked really good in set number 3. If they want to force a fifth set, they'll need another one just like it. And of course, if a fifth set is needed, they'll only play to 15. So it is a shorter set if it's needed. The Bears trying to make sure that that won't happen as Link comes out. Lee. Malaya Reese wearing number 1. Nimioja. Giesky has gone all the way at libero for White Bear. White Bear will serve to start the fourth set. Caligari. That's going to go long. And Anoka has the first point of the fourth set. Now, Caligari will come out and Meyer will come back in. Trombley serves, and that is down. And Anoka goes up 2. Oh, that hurt. As Reeder took advantage of that short ball and pounded it home. And Anoka on a real roll now. Trombley will serve. And another short ball, the same result. Reeder puts it down, and Anoka has the first 4 points of the fourth set. And into the net from Lotto, and it's 5 now for Anoka. Over by Giesky. Off the block and down, and it's 6-0 for Anoka. And there's a powerful kill by Nimioja to get White Bear on the board. 8 kills now Mioja will sit, and Pearson will come in to serve. White Bear needs points. Look at the net, 4 hits. That's a point for White Bear. And that's wide. So White Bear is starting to pull some points back now. They're down 3 here in the 4th set with Pearson serving. And a kill on the far side from Reeder is really starting to feel it. And Anoka gets the serve back. And here is Lanasa to serve for Anoka. They'll lead it by 4. And that's a net violation, and Anoka gets another point. 8-3. And that is long from Reagan Farmer, and it's 9-3. And a lovely executed roll right at the net by McLaughlin. And that will be a timeout for White Bear, which has allowed 10 out of the 13 points in the 4th set. And some concern here for Mackenzie Liberty as her team has just been moved around the floor by Anoka. Played very well in the first 2 sets, but the Tornadoes have come alive and have found a rhythm. And they have made life very difficult on the Bears in the last set and a half. (10-3) the score. Next up for Anoka, a local home date against Coon Rapids. And that will be on Wednesday night. White Bears' next matchup tomorrow here against Park in a Suburban East Conference matchup. All right, Lanasa will serve. And a kill in the middle for Lee. And White Bear gets the point back. They've moved away from the middle hitter in the last couple of sets, at least to my observation. Going to the wings, and Lee in the middle there came up with a big kill. And back the other way, Reeder immediately answers for Anoka. Played over by Farmer. And then hit, and that's long. White Bear will win the point. That time Reeder missed. And White Bear gets the service back, trailing by 6 points. Lotto will serve it for White Bear. Nice work by the White Bear block there. Farmer and Link deny Reeder. but it went out of bounds, and the point has been awarded to Anoka. And that one goes into the net, so White Bear gets it back. Now Farmer will serve. Cross court, and Lotto can't save it. So it's another point for Anoka. And it's now 13-6. As Farmer will check out, and Malaya Reese, the freshman, will again come back in for White Bear. That goes wide, and White Bear gets the point. 13-7. And Giesky will serve. And that is going to be a service winner. Bears get a point back. 13-8. And on the near side, Galagari pounds it down, and it's 13-9. And a timeout taken by Anoka. With the Bears rallying in the fourth set, they now trail by only 4, 13-9, and are starting to build some momentum. So a nice sequence there for the Bears. Now a chance to reinforce some home truths to the young ladies down there who are trying to fight their way back into this fourth set. They lead it 2-1. Again, a reminder, if you'd like to advertise on our web streams, you can certainly do that by dropping a note to sales at RICCImediagroup.com, RICCI, and we'll be happy to help set you up as a part of White Bear Nation as Giesky will serve it up. And that's down. And Anoka gets the serve back just at the time that White Bear was really needing to keep it. 14-9. Uh-oh. That one caught Giesky right between the hands and did not have the ability to put much power on that dig. And now it's 15-9. Anoka will serve, and it's McLaughlin. And there is Nimioja, who they need at the net, scoring another kill. And it's now 15-10. Serve. Oh, a big hit from the near side by Shimmick. Deflects off Giesky and out of play. 16-10. Anoka has the serve back. And it's Trombley to serve. And White Bear will get a point on the net violation. So they're hanging in there. They just need a service run and get back into this. And it will now be Pearson to serve as Reese will check out. And Reeder with a roll at the net. And Anoka immediately gets the serve back. And that one is down. Farmer with a big hit for White Bear gets them the serve back, and they still trail by 5 at 17-12. And now Link comes back in for White Bear. Bears now try to set it up at the net. And finally, it's Reeder with the kill. And Anoka serves up 6. Shimek will serve it this time. A net violation has been called against Link. And that's a point for Anoka. 19-12. And there's a service winner for 20. And the wheels are starting to come off here as White Bear now will take a timeout and on the verge of needing to play a 5th set. The difference between Anoka in the 2nd set and Anoka in the 3rd and 4th is really telling. 20-12. White Bear Lake has had many runs in this 4th game, but they haven't been able to hold serve, and Anoka has made them pay for it. And it'll be Anoka to serve with Chimik when we come back now, 20-12. Anoka 5 points away from a 5th and deciding set. And another point for Anoka. And a back row winner there for Kate Trombley, and Anoka closing in. They lead it by 10. Link puts it towards the back row. Reeder. And down off the White Bear block as they get the service back. Trailing by 9. Well, we appear to have a commercial playing on the scoreboard. White Bear Mitsubishi is welcome to come to us if they want. And we'd be happy to play that commercial for them as White Bear serves. And another kill for Reeder. They need 2. Roll is dug out there by Lanasa. And again, Reeder from the back row. White Bear needs to find an answer for her quick. And now it is set point as Anoka 1 point away from forcing a 5th and deciding set. (24-13). And Farmer from the far side picks up a kill. White Bear gets a serve. 24-14. Nimioja back in for White Bear Lake. Difficult angle there for Galagari. And into the net from Reeder, and White Bear picks up a 15th point. And into the net it goes, and that is set number 4. And Anoka has forced a 5th set, 25-15. So White Bear needs to come up with something special here as they have conked out over the last couple of sets, unfortunately for them. A lot of credit to Anoka for figuring it out. There have been 159 points contested tonight. Anoka's 181, White Bear 78. Again, White Bear right back here on this floor tomorrow night as they will take on Park in a Suburban East Conference matchup. We're just a moment or so away from the start of this 5th and deciding set. The Anoka huddle looks a fair bit looser than the White Bear one does. Bears won the first two sets, 25-17 and 25-14. Dropped the next two, 25-13 and 25-15. And now find themselves in a race to 15 for this match tonight. Anoka trying to snap a 3-match losing streak. And here we go. And it'll be White Bear to serve in the 5th set. Galagari will start it off 2 apiece. Little misplay at the net. Now off the block, Bears save it. Good stop there by Gieske. And that is off the block and out, but the point goes to Anoka. That's nicely done on the block by White Bear. Lotto and Link combining to deny Reeder and get White Bear a first point. 1-1, and the serve goes back to the Bears. And Maddie Pearson will serve. And down. That was Lee. And White Bear leads it 2-1. That one lands wide. And White Bear leads it by 2. It's 3-1. First time they've led since the second set. See if the Bears can keep this momentum going as Pearson serves. And that's going to be big trouble. It lands off the ceiling. And it's 4-1 Bears. And again, Pearson will serve. And there's Reeder. To make it 4-2. And Lanasa will serve for the Tornadoes. White Bear leading 4-2 in the deciding 5th set. That's going to go long. And that's a big play. White Bear gets the serve back. And the point leading 5-2. And it'll be Addison Lee, the junior, to serve. And a back row winner by Reeder there. Not right at the net, but gets the point and the serve for her team. It's 5-3. Shimmick will serve. Rolled over by Farmer. Farmer, that goes out of play. Off the diving Trombley, and White Bear gets the service back, leading at 6-3. And now it'll be Galagari coming in to replace Meyer. And Lotto will serve for White Bear. That goes out of play. And side judge is consulting with the referee as to who gets this point. And it goes to White Bear. It goes to Anoka, excuse me. Tornadoes will serve, and it's Reeder. 6-4 Bears. Over it goes. And Anoka gets a 5th point. Reeder will serve. Back to Reeder. And down. McLaughlin with the kill, and it's tied at 6. Into the net. And White Bear gets the serve back and gets the lead back. 7-6 is Reeder with a service error. And it will now be Reagan Farmer to serve for the Bears. Over by Trombley. And into the net from Nimioja. And a point to Anoka, and they serve back at 7-7. McLaughlin will serve for the Tornadoes. Oh, and that one goes off of Nimioja. And long, and Anoka leads the 5th set for the first time, 8-7. Back row, nice work there. This is might get over, and it does. Wonderful save by Reeder. And now a kill in the middle for Lee, and White Bear goes ahead 8-7. Gieske will serve. And it's 8-8. That one falls around on the ceiling rafters. And into the net from Hayden Reeder. White Bear point, and it's 9-8. Gieske will serve. And a kill on the near side for Trombley. 9-9. Team's running out of room here pretty quick. Trombley will serve. Cross court, down. Nimioja, White Bear gets the lead back, 10-9. Now here is Galligari to serve for White Bear. And that skitters wide. Good stop by Reeder, and they get it over on the 3rd try. And a powerful kill by Nimioja off an Anoka player, and down for the 11th point. A timeout taken by Anoka. They trail 11-9. White Bear 4 points from the match. So 11-9 here in the 5th. White Bear is dug deep here in the 5th. Tornadoes head back out. White Bear trying to take that momentum back. Bears have a 3-2 win against Hutchinson. Anoka in 5-set matches so far 0-1. Galagari will serve. And that goes off of McLaughlin and out of play. White Bear 12-9. And again, Galagari to serve. Oh, great block off Trombley, but the Bears give up another one. And now the ball lands as it's last touched by the Tornadoes' Shimmick, and it's 12-10. Meyer back on for White Bear. Serve. And again, a short return from Reese, and Reeder pounds it home to make it 12-11. You can't get too much on that return. I guess I should have said a long hit. Over the net. Now at the net. Rolled over and down, and Anoka has tied it at 12. Bears led 11-9, and now a 3-1 run will result in a timeout for White Bear. No margin for error here. (12-12). A lot of ebb and flow to this match. Fine play on both sides. But now it comes down to 3 points. And Anoka will serve. Trombley. And a big play in the middle from Lee. And White Bear leads it 13-12 and goes to the serve. Pearson will serve. Reeder. Farmer. Reeder again. Down. And it's 13-13. And it'll be Lanasa to serve. Farmer rolls it over and down. And the Bears will get the serve for the match, 14-13. And here is Lee to serve. Rolled over the top and down, and it's 14-14. And when they need a point, Anoka goes to Reeder, and he's had a superb match tonight. Now Shimmick will serve for Anoka. Farmer. And Anoka will serve at 15-14. And White Bear takes a timeout with the score 15-14 for Anoka. They came back from 2 sets down to force this 5th, and are on the verge of pulling a rabbit out of the hat. All right, the huddles break, and now we will get Anoka's service here, and it will be Lydia Shimmick, their freshman. Here we go. Reader. And that's it. And Anoka comes back from the dead and beats White Bear in 5 sets tonight. And our final is Anoka 3, White Bear 2. Anoka snaps a 3-match losing streak and comes from 2 sets down to defeat the Bears here tonight. 16-14 in the final set. White Bear won the first 2, 25-17, 25-14. And Anoka came back 25-13, 25-15, and 16-14 in the last set to win it and go to 3-4 in the year. White Bear drops to 3-3. They're right back here tomorrow night to take on Park Cottage Grove in a 7 o'clock match. Well, a fun one, but a loss for White Bear as they drop now to 3-3 on the season. They have lost 3 out of their last 4, and they'll try to turn things around tomorrow night. Jeff Pappas saying so long, and thanks for watching tonight. You've enjoyed White Bear Sports on RICCImediagroup.com. Good night.